Good evening, everyone. I'm doing a sort of a collective message, in fact, to celebrate Veterans Day. Today's 11/11/2022, so it's also a portal. I might do a reading for 11/11 for, lovers out there or twin flames and whatnot, but this one is for veterans. Veterans Day is also called Remembrance Day, right? So if you have any I don't know, long lost memories, maybe we'll see what those are. I'm not really sure what the cards will reveal. I don't think it's anything necessarily related to military conflicts, wars. In terms of the dark side of it, I'm hoping maybe something more positive will come out, especially in the light of all the conflicts ongoing in the world at the moment. So let's just start with the Wisdom Oracle card as an opening statement. So if you're wondering what I have on the table, it's I sort of wanted to recreate like a First World War ambush. So you kind of have one army coming through a very narrow canyon and being ambushed by another army. Cannons, horsemen, and infantry all on foot. All alert, I should say. Anyway, it's more just to illustrate what the reading is about. There's nothing negative in portraying what we know is history, right? So anyway, if you're a sensitive soul and you don't like what I'm actually putting forth tonight, then you can click off. The other ones can stay, of course. You're more than welcome to stay. I hope you will stay. So we can remember together and learn. Okay, so no card wants to come out. I will draw. So the Wisdom Oracle is breathe. Breathe for me is also life, right? So it's an interesting play on life and death. But in this case, it obviously emphasizes life more than anything. Maybe we need a breather in the world, some kind of suspension of conflicts, right? I see it that way as well. I have a tarot deck. Unfortunately, it's called, I think it's the Dark Days Tarot, but it's actually a dark moon, so new moon kind of deck. So again, the idea here is not to bring anything negative. It's only because the cards were black and white, and I wanted to take those for the reading. So let's see what we are breathing about. These cards are square, so I'm trying to make sure that they come out in reverse. This was kind of like this, but I have to pick a side, so let's do this. Okay, let me show you. So the Fool. When I say pick a side is because being square, they might come on the side, right? So I'm really trying to have uprights and reversed. Just want to be clear here. This is the Page of Cups. We have Death in reverse. Interesting. I'm going to leave it right under breathe because we have a fierce opposition here. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse. Let me show you the card upright. And we have Judgment. It's really interesting energy with death. The Fool, Death, and Judgment. I'm really loving the sequence because the three major arcanas are white, have a white background, and they stick out. They're placed like literally 1, 3, 5, right? So it's a very perfect like sequence: white, black, white, black, white. I'm loving that death is under breathe. So what I intuitively associated with life, right? And we start with the Fool, and we have basically a newborn, and then we have death, life and death, and then we have Judgment, which could also be seen as obviously if you're I'm not really religious, right? But like in the last, like in the Bible about Judgment Day, right? So this is a very, I mean, I really don't want to make this religious, but it's a perfect sort of portrait of maybe a biblical story of life, being born, going through maybe war, living, dying, and eventually being judged for your actions. What did you do throughout your life that was positive, negative, in relation to maybe having gone to war? For any of you who might have experienced that, why not? It's possible. Veterans, of course, are retired, but we still have a lot of soldiers afoot, right? So anyways, that's pretty spectacular here in terms of how closely related it is to something out of the Bible, namely out of Christianity, right? But maybe other religions have the sort of same framework. Death is in reverse, so there's something to point out, because there's something about maybe not dying, so surviving the conflict, which is precisely what a veteran is. They've gone through many wars, but they're still alive today. They have to live with their wounds, both physical, emotional, psychological, and maybe even spiritual, right? We do have judgment. For sure, they get transformed through the experience. So let's look at what's in between, right? We have the Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups in reverse. So Page of Cups upright, Ten of Cups in reverse. It's really fitting that after the Fool, right, you're young and you're looking for love, you're wanting, you're welcoming life, you're putting yourself out there. It's a natural way of being, right? And after you've gone through this conflict, and you've experienced maybe the worst of the worst experiences that anyone could go through on this earth, the experience changes to the Ten of Cups in reverse. So basically your happiness has been compromised. You don't see the world with the same eyes. You don't have the optimistic outlook on life anymore, because you have the Ten of Cups in reverse. So maybe you weren't able to, if you were married, keep a wife and a family together. Maybe you just never had a wife and a family because of what you went through and experienced. Definitely you might have lost also family members or other colleagues, etc. It's a form of showing how life has disappointed you. I mean, it's a crazy veteran story here. I mean, I don't even have to put in any effort in reading this sequence. It's absolutely perfectly in line with what this energy is and what we're talking about, or actually what the holiday of the Veterans Day is actually symbolizing and why it exists. Not to say that all veterans will have an unhappy family life after war, but for having watched many I guess war movies and stuff like that, we kind of all know that veterans come back with PTSD. They might have a missing limb. They're quite scarred. I've seen a documentary as well where they end up homeless because they're having the hardest time reintegrating society. So they wouldn't know what normality is in terms of a happy home and a happy family. But overall, the judgment card for me is quite important here. There's something about giving yourself a break in terms of forgiving yourself, having the wisdom maybe to choose a life of spirituality, meditation, asceticism, oh God, let me see, I can't even say it in French, hold on. When you choose to be more, like when your life becomes really, really simple and you eat really, really frugally, asceticism, I'm not sure, I'm so sorry, I'm butchering the word. Anyways, I'll look it up. I really apologize. I kind of know the word too, and it just won't come out. Not even in French, so but I know it's the same word in French and English. Anyways, let me not spend too much time on my French-English thing. I believe that when you really reach the end of your life, or actually, you know what? I choose to see judgment as maybe you're not at the end of your life, right? You might not be really, really old, and it's not about you forgiving yourself at the last minute. I think maybe you need to see yourself in a different light right away, right? As you still have many years ahead of you, and that you probably would need to recreate your life. So let's look at that. I'm probably going to put the cards under it, but that's what I wish to see. I can't make this up. Only one came out. It's the Lovers. I'm actually going to put it after the Judgment because, okay, let me not undo this because I really want that to be under Brie. There's hope. There's hope for love. There's hope for a union. There's hope for recreating your life. I'm super pleased to see this. Honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. I think there's work to be done in terms of really going deep within and really following a particular spiritual path, maybe even religious if you choose to. It doesn't have to be Christianity. It could be any other religion. It could be Buddhism. It could be just, like martial arts. It could be anything that, is in line with maybe your combat training or anything that you might have experienced in abroad, right? Having been exposed to different cultures and different, religion as well. But the Lovers is incredibly powerful here. There's, I'm telling you, I'm glad I decided to see the Judgment in a different light myself, right? And not choose to see it as your final days. I think there's many more happy days to come. Wow, I'm stoked. Let's draw an angel number card. I want to see what the guidance is from the angels in relation to this. One came out on the side, so that's the one I'm going to choose. The other ones were like, they just fell as a pack. So let me just rearrange. And you have 0505. You are completing a cycle. You will reap the benefits of your work. Some insecurities might come up with your success. Be careful of your inner resistance and keep striving. You got this. I'm called by completing a cycle. I think the Judgment is completing a cycle in a sense, right? It's you've paid your karmic debts in terms of the experiences that you've gone through, maybe at war or during any form of military activity. You will reap the benefits of your work. Maybe there's a payoff somehow through retirement. Maybe there's a payoff through just becoming more spiritual and happier and at peace. But it's also insecurities related to your success. So it might have to do with having success in love, but it might have to do with any new work endeavors, right? So if you've left the military, you're a veteran, there are other avenues for you to actually live out your life, earn your money, and be creative and participate in society, right? Reintegrate fully, feel like you belong, feel like you actually contribute, feel that what you do matters, etc. And it says, be careful of your inner resistance. So that would be linked to, obviously, maybe past wounds, past hurts, past experiences, past failures, whatever those are. And it says, keep striving. So there's probably some effort on your part to input. Anyways, fives are change, right? So there's definitely something that is evolving for you, and I think everything is sort of hinges on the judgment. How you judge yourself, first and foremost, really, I think this is the more important energy, right? Because you might feel judged by society or whoever, but ultimately, if you're judging yourself, you'll never love yourself, and you'll never be able to reintegrate. You'll be your worst enemy, basically. But the Lover's card, what a promise! What an amazing gift! What a reward! What a way to be successful! What a way to recreate yourself and live fully. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I sat down and did this reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it meant something for you somehow. Veteran or not, you might know people that are in the military. I know a lot of people in the US do, even in Canada where I live. Anywhere in Europe, especially right now. May God bless all of them. May God bless all of us. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Good night.